What is the difference between cutting length and bending length? Cutting length, as the name shows, the length you wanted to cut.
Freshers, they want to pursue a career in BBS. How they need to start? Where they need to start?
You have to go to the yard, stand next to the bar bender, find what he is doing. Then whatever the theoretical bar bending schedules we prepare.
A contractor wants to prove client, I am right, I want that project genuinely. How they can prove it?
Any of the contracting organizations.
What is the right price for a project?
In order to learn rebar, though 100% you have to make your shoes dirty. Small scale builders may think like mostly people they just go on a day-to-day business as usual day, like they'll go, okay, today what is required, we'll just go and do that. 90% of the time I have seen even experienced people who are very good in BBS still says the code wrong. Their working will be right, but they don't know which code. Boss, what I'm saying is,
Hello Civil Bros, welcome back to our channel. So today's podcast is gonna be one of my favorite podcasts because we discussed about bar bending schedule today. This will help you to figure out how to do bar bending schedules in a contract, pursuing a career in bar bending schedule, how it's gonna help. These all details we will gonna figure out in this video, and this video will help you how contracts works. This video will give you an information about how contract works, how contractors, the margin of the contractors you will get to know by watching this video. Finally, my suggestion is don't miss this video, don't skip it, watch till the end. Thanks for the support. Let's enjoy the show. Hi sir, welcome back to our channel. It's very good to be here with you again. And bar bending schedule is my first choice when I was in graduation also. Yeah, it's nice talking to you again.
Hi Rajesh, good to meet you once again. Hello Civil Bro or viewers, good to meet you once again with a very good QS topic to speak about.
Yeah, correct.
Looking forward for the podcast.
So I want to start with the basic question, like what is BBS?
So in a simple term, what is a bar bending schedule? As a name itself signifies, what's a bar? A bar is a reinforcement schedule.
Correct.
Bending schedule means what? What is a schedule? A schedule speaks about what is there, what is the breakup of that. That's what a schedule is. Any schedule or summary gives you the detail and the breakup of that detail.
Correct.
So that you will know, okay, where is this total is coming from. This is what basically a schedule or how you are going to progress towards it. That's what a schedule is basically.
Correct.
Or any summary is.
Correct.
So in that way, bar, reinforcement bar. Bending, you're going to bend the bar. You're going to bend it. Schedule, how you are going to bend this rebar. That's what it is. Okay.
The final output also will be there.
Will be the same. Exactly. So it typically has nothing but what is the diameter of the rebar you are taking, what is the bar code to suit to the drawing or to suit to the element of that reinforcement bar.
Correct.
Simple, like whether it is a crank bar or a chair bar or a main bar or a distribution bar or a stirrups bar. That is the bar coding, or sometimes it may have a description or a code. And what is the cutting length? Your standard reinforcement bar, what is the length this particular bar you wanted to cut? And what is the bending length? So what is the difference between cutting length and bending length? Cutting length, as the name shows, the length you wanted to cut. Reinforcement thing is when you bend it, it slightly elongates.
Yeah. Elongation will be there. Inside
deduction also
will be there. Correct.
The difference between cutting length and bending length is cutting length is the length you wanted to cut, okay, which is nothing but the including the bending and the deduction allowances taken into account. So that you cut for the length, and when you bend it, the required measurement is bent. So this is very simple when we speak about one bar.
Yes sir, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you or anybody would have probably noticed the reinforcement bars of metro pillars where the T-beam will be there. You can see very complex high dia reinforcement bars are placed because your metro pillars are basically in this shape.
Correct.
They are not in a very linear shape. It's slightly slanting.
Not normal thing.
Not normal, it's slightly slanting. So one bar at the start will be of a different depth. The bar at the end will be a different
depth.
Because the top will be same, the bottom will be slanting like this. Correct.
Yeah.
So in such cases, how do you cut each and every bar?
Okay.
So that is what a bar bending schedule is going to give you. And it is also it will help them to place the bar properly. Proper bar bending schedule will help a site engineer to write reinforcement at right place because it will come with the bar coding and details like that.
If it doesn't match also, that will be a problem for site engineers.
And it will also give you the quantum. What is the actual quantum? In order to reduce the wastage. See, a proper bar bending schedule when it is made, that's why I said the difference between cutting length and bending length.
Correct.
Right? So if it is not made properly, ideally what happens, if you are not doing the bending deductions, allowances and all, you may cut a length. When you bend it, it may either fall short or it may either fall little more than what is required.
Correct.
So if it's more than what is required, what will happen? It will protrude outside the concrete.
Yes, sir.
So your cover is compromised. You need to cut that. That particular piece of rebar which you wanted to cut goes as a wastage.
Correct.
Again, we are not speaking about one bar.
Yes, sir.
Say 50 mm or 70 mm reinforcement bar goes wastage for one bar.
Correct.
And you have maybe in huge foundations, equipment foundations, you may probably have 100, 200, 300 bars of the diameter both the ways.
Correct.
Top and bottom. So 4 sometimes the 70 bar, both the sides it's going to get increased. Okay, so it's going to land up in a huge wastage. Correct.
Yeah. Huge waste.
And any wastage in construction is basically a national wastage, resource wastage.
Correct, sir. Correct.
And there is a cost to it. Correct. The wastage is basically a loss of cost as well.
Loss of cost, yeah.
So in order to plan that, a bar bending schedule is implemented so that your cutting plan is correct,
Okay.
which is resulting in reduced wastage.
Yeah.
And it is resulting in seamless execution without any confusion.
Correct.
And it also sort of captures how much quantum of reinforcement is actually spent for a particular element
Okay.
into the type of bar, category of bar.
Yeah,
Crank bar, how much? Chair bar. Because chair bar, sometimes what happens in a typical BOQ, chair bars, lap bars, spacer bars, all these are not paid
Included.
separately.
Yeah.
It is
Correct.
not included in the quantum.
Correct.
So in a particular project, if I'm a contractor, I wanted to know how much quantum I have spent in this bar.
Okay.
Per metric ton of reinforcement used, how much of the quantum has been spent towards chair bars, spacer bars, etc., etc.,
correct,
which
sir,
is not measurable as per the BOQs, which is not, if it is not measurable, how much I have. So this information is required for me to price in the upcoming, what is the factor I need to take while pricing.
Yeah.
So this information is going to help me over there. So as a contractor, they need to understand what is the factor they need to load while pricing any item-wise rates. So all this data can be populated using this. There is so many other things like reconciliation which needs to be done properly, where BBS is again going to be a big role. There's something called as rolling margin. So all these topics are, I would say it's bound along with bar bending schedule.
Those are also very big topics. We need to discuss about them also, sir, in future.
Yes,
I'm
definitely.
looking forward. If freshers, they want to pursue a career in BBS, how they need to start and where they need to start?
So pursuing BBS and reinforcement related working as a career,
Okay.
from the QS point of view, of course, there is a demand for bar bending schedulers or, rebar QS. Sometimes it's a loosely used term. So those people will help in any high scale projects. So if you ask me, if it's a typical project, conventional construction is used as a residential, typical institutional
Correct,
building.
correct.
There the requirement could be slightly on a lower side. But if you ask me on infrastructural projects, industrial projects, and consultants like me, like us, in our organizations, of course, there will be a scope for dedicated person or dedicated candidate to work on
Only for BBS.
bar bending
Okay.
schedule, preparation of bar bending schedules only. Of course, so why I'm saying that is, yes, of course, keeping that as a career is good. But as I always suggest, you should always have multiple things in your bucket. You should not rely on any one particular thing, which is not advisable. As I have always suggested in the previous podcast also, it's good to know at least two set of skills. So if you're thinking of dreaming BBS as a career, do it, no problem.
Okay.
But always try to explore the other side of a building, not just the rebar.
Correct, sir.
Of course, when you do rebar, it's the same column size. You can do the shuttering, you can do the concreting also. You will end up becoming a QS.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would probably tell anyone to do that. Coming to the rebar point of view for freshers, how to adapt. I would say for freshers, the most challenging thing to understand is about reinforcement only.
Reinforcement only.
Yeah.
Correct, sir.
Because concrete, though, it is like a plum. I mean, it's like a cakewalk.
Correct.
So you can see what is the dimension of a foundation. You can just measure length into breadth into depth. You can take the quantity, area. You can take the shuttering or a formwork requirement. It's very plain, straight, simple. But reinforcement, it's not that easy. Like you have top, there may be two reinforcements.
Correct.
Bottom might be different reinforcement. Chair, why they are keeping, how they are keeping, what is the leg length to be given for a chair.
Correct.
How do you detect the height? So
how verticals placed. What is the column bar? Yeah.
What is the spacing?
What is the LD given?
Exactly.
Yes.
And deductions, understanding about the BBS itself. Most of the question when I ask with anyone, what is the IS code you follow for bar bending schedule preparation?
Okay.
90% I'll get the wrong answer.
Oh.
People will say IS 456,
In
IS
my mind
800.
also, okay, my mind also IS 456 is there, sir. What is it then? Please tell us. We want to know.
The actual code for BBS is IS 2502.
2502.
2502 1963.
Okay, okay.
Here could be slightly different.
Uh-huh.
So 2502 only governs the BBS,
Okay.
supported by IS 456.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
You need to tell, next time you need to answer correctly.
90% of the time I have seen even experienced people
Correct.
who are very good in BBS
Okay.
still says the code wrong. Their working will be right, but they don't know which code they are following to. That's the awareness.
That's because of this thing also, sir. When structural engineer came to site, they they will also tell them like ask about questions with IS 456 related only, like T-beam.
Boss, what I'm saying is,
Yes, sir.
these days AI is available in WhatsApp. For everything else, we are using it.
Yes, sir.
Have we ever asked what is the BBS code to be followed as per IS standard?
Yeah, I didn't search it also, sir.
Correct, right? Structural engineer might say everything. He might have designed for it. How you are going to properly place a bar bending schedule? Which code you are? It's a quantity survey is bread and butter, right?
Correct,
Why would they have to give the right answer?
Correct.
If you are a QS, you have to give the right answer, right?
Correct.
So most of the time, people I say they are giving wrong answer for this. Of course, because of the awareness issues only again.
Correct.
When it comes to fresher, the problem is even for experienced people, this is a little tricky part. For fresher, the day one when they are at site, if we ask them to identify just by seeing what is 8 mm, what is 10 mm, what is 12 mm,
They can't do it, sir.
that's a simple thing I said. Forget about that. Imagining how a chair bar is placed, how a bar is cut, why there is a difference between cutting length, bending length. These are all like, it's something which they have to. In my language, I would probably say, that's my favorite phrase. So I used to use that. Civil engineers, they have to make their shoes dirty. Okay. Only then they can learn construction.
Correct.
So in order to learn rebar, to 100% you have to make your shoes dirty.
Correct, sir.
Okay, because you have to go to the
You need
yard.
to walk through sites.
You have to go to the yard, stand next to the barbender, find what he is doing. Only then, whatever the theoretical bar bending schedules we prepare,
Okay.
you will know how it is practically getting, bent, cut and bent at site.
Okay, I saw a lot of people, sir, who is good at bar bending. All are not engineers. I'm not talking about engineers.
Correct, understood. So they don't know
All
why
are
is that.
supervisors only.
They don't know why that deduction,
Foreman.
why that
Yeah.
allowance. They don't know that.
Correct. They even explain the drawing to engineers also, sir.
Correct.
GETs.
Correct. Barbenders,
was so
you're
amazed.
saying about professional educated engineers. I'm saying about, I have experience where I have worked with wonderful barbenders.
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 Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, if you give them the rebar drawing and the bar bending schedule,
Correct.
they don't want an engineer to explain the schedule. They will do the cutting, they will do the bending, they will directly put it in the push cart and send it to your yard,
Correct, sir.
send it to your installation location from the yard.
Day to day, I'm
It will
also
be very clear.
Yeah.
Barbenders, I would probably say one of the smartest
Yes, sir.
team of labors, in construction, I would say. So if you ask me what is that advice or how a fresher should learn, step into site. That's where the learning, especially
Learning
on
start.
bar bending,
Yes,
concreting, I would always suggest any civil engineer to start from site. At least for 1 year be at site. That
Correct.
environment, that vibe, the learning you get there is something special, something unique,
Correct, sir.
which will help or open your eyes to understand, senses to understand about construction.
Correct, sir.
That is very important. See, I won't say you have to do all types of projects, which is impossible. I would at least say do at least 1 or 2 type of projects. Spend 1 year at site, understand it. At least partly be there so that you know okay, how things are progressing. So that is important. Then with that, the IS core knowledge, when they are able to see, they'll be able to grab it.
Correct.
It's not nothing is a rocket science. I mean, in construction though, nothing is a rocket science up to that. Everything is readable, decodable, understandable. It's about the interest.
Common sense also
Everything,
matters.
yeah, of course. Everything is complex at the beginning.
Yeah.
Slightly when we know the detailing of it,
Correct.
we'll get to know how to crack it. First rule is be at site, and second, the love for drawings, reinforcement drawings. Some of the complex reinforcement drawings, they'll feed your brain with so much
Correct,
of
sir,
detailing. So that is something. And as for doubts, so recent days, one of the biggest challenge is the dependency on ChatGPT or AI tools. I would say that's why I said for any support you have to ask. I'm not saying you should not refer to all of it. It will give all the material summarized into a simple readable thing.
Correct.
But there is always something which you can get it through answers from experience from people next to you.
Correct, sir. Practical is different, book knowledge is different.
Exactly. So even though you read it, unless and until you know how to interpret it or how to understand it, it's a problem. So there, at least in construction though, that human intelligence or that human support is still required. So I would say finally, whatever you read, be at site, things like that, ask with people, friends, seniors.
Interaction
fellow
is more
colleagues.
important.
That interaction and questions has to be asked to them. Only then you can understand it in a much better and an efficient way.
The more questions you will ask, the more you will
Learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, mostly if you ask me, a typical QS cannot do BBS. If you ask me, it's not like that. BBS, whoever knows BBS, they can still transform into a traditional QS. As I said, it's about like the same column, same slab, everything is going to be the same thing only. See, of course, like when you do it over a period of time, you'll become an expert of that. You'll become a master of it. In such way, dedicatedly someone who has spent maybe, for example, 5 years, 10 years or 7 years into the preparation of bar bending schedules, they can just quickly understand a drawing and make it into a BBS. Half of the time what a traditional QS who has to learn and do it probably will take. In terms of why the contractor is using a different team, probably we, in order to answer that, we may need to go in terms of how the way they operate. Sometimes what happens, the dedicated team must be working on multiple projects, reinforcement quantification, sitting at a central location from a contractor's point, or the project, the procurement and other things. Of course, compared to concrete, steel, if the quantum is huge, the orders has to be placed quite well in advance, depending on the total volume of steel included in the project and all. So maybe they are keeping a dedicated team just to make sure the entire quantum is quantified with the bar bending schedule placed in record, so that the orders can be placed and it can be pushed for construction as soon as the work front is getting cleared. That could be an ideal strategy, or it may be depending on the project also. Sometimes if it's a complex project where the reinforcement detailing is, if it's a complex RCC building where the reinforcement detailing is quite huge, of course they need a dedicated team to do that. It cannot be mixed up with the typical QS. So because of the level of complexities involved in the rebar detailing.
Mine is small, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Commercial project.
Okay. Yeah. It's because of the quantum. Since huge quantities required, they may need to stock it up or probably want to put the orders in place. But they don't work. If the quantum is huge, ideally if a wrong BBS could probably result in a wrong wastage also, which will unnecessarily increase your order quantity also. So it should be a very calculative move. But ideally, if you ask me, is it a two team required separately? Depends on project, depends on their way of operation. But if you ask me, like if a traditional QS cannot do that, of course traditional QS can do that. It's about your ability to decode a drawing and understand which reinforcement, what it is, etc.
But I observed this thing also. Whenever a fresher come to site, the first thing the project manager says, go and watch the steel only or concrete.
Correct.
These both are the major things.
Correct.
Whether it's QS or whether it's site engineer also.
Correct.
The experience is the same.
Correct.
What do you say, sir?
Yeah, I agree. See, because as I told you, reinforcement, understanding a reinforcement is not comparatively as easy as you are understanding a flooring or a painting or a concrete item.
Correct, sir.
So if somebody can quickly understand reinforcement things, of course they can probably, their grasping power will be good.
Correct.
And they can also probably learn what next. That should be the idea behind it.
Correct. One person who is coming out of college, new to the industry, if somewhere finishing phase is ongoing, for finishing they hire like fresher? I don't think so, because
for finishers you are saying?
Finishers, sir. Yes.
Only for finishers.
Yes.
If an engineer is there or a QS is there at the time of the completion of a project where finishers are happening, it is more like you have to have a sense of quality and understanding of the specification, snag list, punch points. The work is done as per what is mentioned or demanded, or is it incomplete or complete? So these level of detailing is very important at that stage.
Correct.
See, nobody will say like we don't want freshers. Okay. There are people that are coming out of the market. Of course, some people are struggling to find job. The market is not unique. I mean, market is not stable everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Same everywhere. Some states it's different. City side it's different. Rural side it's different. So that could be there. But job wise, if you ask me, from whatever I'm observing from the market, there is a genuine crisis for talent. There is a genuine crisis for talent. I would say like people will take. So nobody will say like, okay, as a fresher you can't do that. It's a matter of like how convincing a fresher candidate is while presenting him, while establishing his technical strengths. We spoke about it in one of the previous podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Simple thing, if you are able to explain your final year project pretty good, your job is secured. But how many people are able to do that?
Sir.
Okay, now I'm not saying you should have done it probably with all that understanding. It's ideal you have to do it, but even if you have not done it, while sitting for a job interview, open your final year project report, just understand what you have done, how you have done. Just try to present that at least.
Okay.
At least that itself will help you to push in better.
Correct.
I'm saying from my experience, what I'm seeing in the market, there is a genuine crisis for talent.
Crisis is there.
Okay. And as I said, the finishing part is a little stressful part. It is like,
more works will come.
Yeah, multiple parties will be involved over there. The handing over, taking over, some client, some other team will be there. There will be a sales team will be there monitoring. They'll be giving their point of checklist. Technical team will be giving their point of checklist.
Correct, sir.
We have to make sure that all the checklists are met. The job is completed as per 100% requirement mentioned or demanded. And sometimes you may not get labor support. Sometimes you may not get material support. Sometimes you'll have logistics issues because in finishes stage of a project, all this will happen.
Correct.
How do you tackle all that is a totally different ball game.
So freshers can't survive in that zone actually, I think.
See, I would say
Probably.
like we cannot say like that. See, everybody who is a fresher, can freshers survive on a concrete building? Can freshers survive on a steel building? How can we even say that?
Okay.
See, anybody,
Very
it's
yeah.
about their interest.
Interest,
okay.
yeah.
If they are passionate about construction, they can survive.
Correct, sir.
If they are passionate about what the work is, site is, what activity they are doing, they can survive. Not just them, anybody can survive that.
Let's get back to our topic, BBS, bar bending schedule. So we my mind stuck at code book of bar bending schedule, sir. So how you gonna explain about code book?
So I think if I start explaining that, we may need to have a dedicated session for bar bending schedule
Correct, sir,
itself.
correct.
Because, as I said earlier, it's about right from starting from the cutting length to bending length, with the allowances, with the deductions for every degree, how much it is, how to measure that length, how to calculate that length, different different types of reinforcement methodologies are there.
Sir.
Depends on the type of structure, as I said about the T-beam, and so many things are there. I would tell probably I would request the viewers to put up a comment if they wanted a dedicated session speaking about 2502. We can do that, but I want people to download 2502 first to understand. Okay.
You need to
I think many people will know there is something called 2502, which is apart from IS 1200 and IS 456.
Okay.
There is something a QS should ideally know. I think that visibility we gave today.
Correct.
If they're able to download and ask, please ask it in comments. Accordingly, we can schedule.
Please do that. And in a construction, BBS is playing main role. So most of the contractors, sir, I will probably say builders who is coming
Small scale,
okay. Sir. Yeah, from small scale only. In startups also, small startups who is starting right from the beginning as a for G+1, G+2 small villas. For that, they are not using quantity surveying, sir. They are not taking quantity surveyors as part of them.
Correct.
Their projects.
Correct.
What do you think of that?
So it is, I would say, it is because of, sometimes it's because of ignorance, sometimes it's because of unawareness, lack of knowledge or understanding about, okay, we can use them.
Okay.
So I would say it's not necessary you have to keep someone under your payroll. For small scale builders, I'm saying,
Correct.
you don't need to hire a QS and keep it within your organization's payroll, company's payroll, like how you pay for a site engineer. There are options. They can approach a freelance quantity surveyor who can
sir.
just give an estimate, bill of materials, quantities, materials punched over there.
Yes, sir.
But they don't want to do it because most of them is not aware of, okay, we can utilize this, or probably they may not have thought about it. That is because I would also say the advantage of using a QS by a small scale developer is not portrayed very well anywhere. So nobody has told, okay, this is the amount of money you can make if you have a dedicated QS with you, or if you use a quantity surveyor for your at the initial stage of a project itself. So I would answer this in a different way. If I'm I'm an owner and I have my own organization, I'm doing residential small scale constructions, maybe a 3 BHK or a 2 BHK. I'm doing 5 or 6 of my projects.
Correct.
Okay. What would I do is I would definitely keep a QS. For all the projects, I will take out the material requirement in the beginning itself. There are good people who are doing this by themselves, but for others, majority of the people who doesn't capitalize this resource.
Yeah, please.
I'm saying if I was there, probably I would all the 5 projects, what is the material requirement, I'll cap it in the beginning. With that, I can sort of see and negotiate with the suppliers. Another possibility, all the projects are, for example, happening within Hyderabad limits.
Yeah.
I know the entire quantum for all the 5 projects put together. I can easily negotiate with the supplier.
Correct.
This is the amount of cement I need. This is the amount of reinforcement I want. This is the quantum of concrete I'm going to purchase from you. Right from small things, shuttering material to windows to doors to hardwares to lock to tower bolts, to your hinges. You can 5 buildings if you're doing together. One vendor, if you're negotiating, your deal is done, material is assured, proper quality is served, rate is very well negotiated. That is one advantage. Second advantage, the wastage in other site could be a resourceful material in other site. In my site A, the reinforcement wastage could still be utilized for maybe casting the manhole covers at least.
Oh, correct, sir.
Small items.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Maybe the wastage from there which goes unnecessarily under the soil.
Correct.
I can transfer here with a little cost, but the capital cost is saved because I know my material is lying over there. I can utilize it for some other project which I am doing. So this planning is also very effective. And second is in terms of the payment what we are making. What is the quantum I have to procure? What is the quantum I am supposed to pay when it's benchmarked? It becomes clear how much you need to pay. So your cash inflow, cash outflow is pretty under control, and how much advances you are paying.
I guess. Yeah.
How much advances you are paying, or how much of payment you releasing for each and every supply, how much you are paying for your labor, on what basis, if it's an area or a labor day contract, how much you have allocated, how much you are paying. All this is, planned out very well. This is what most of the builders likely to do. Efficient builders do the same thing. Small scale builders may think like mostly people, they just go on a day-to-day business as usual day, like they'll go, okay, today what is required, we'll just go and do that. That planning should start one step before, then it's a totally different thing. So that's what I'm saying. If I am if I am doing a small scale construction like that, if I am a proprietor, owner of a company, small company, then I would probably do, this is what I would do. I would just map out all my projects, resources calculated at one end. This is what the beauty of doing that. I think nobody has spoken out very attractively mentioning what is the profit percentage they can increase by doing this way. People know that, okay, anybody who is doing the construction are aware of it, but maybe they don't want to communicate about it, or they might have not communicated so openly about it. That could be the issue. When this comes, it becomes very attractive. Always when you say, this is the profit you can make when you use this, it becomes more attractive.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
So that I think has not happened yet.
Let's come back to one step, sir. Here the main part, how helpful a quantity surveyor to negotiate with, like,
how it's going to help the client.
How it's going to help the client.
For example, let us take the same small scale example. Say if somebody wants to build probably a 10,000 SFT home, individual home, they want to do a villa of their own. First of all, when they think of it, how much typically, like how someone is assuming what is the cost they need to spend. Typically, they'll ask to 2-3 builders, they'll arrive at. What I would say is, like, for a small scale home also, they are going to take some designer, 3D views, plans, everything they are getting it. So at that point itself, spend a small money, go to someone who has got the capacity to give you the budget, material and things like that. I'm telling you, this will really work like a magic. You go to someone, get the proper BOQ.
Correct.
You first understand from them. It's advisable if that person belongs to that locality.
Correct.
The QS or the cost manager is having awareness of rates of that particular locality. And you talk to them and you give the drawings to them and get a BOQ pricing and everything from them, so that you will know ideally how much is my project is going to cost.
Correct, sir.
So he's aware of your designs, he's having a discussion with you, and he's working for a small amount of fee. Unnecessarily, he doesn't want to give you too much and undercut your pricing also. And that will get validated also. So nobody is going to accept it. There are going to be 2-3 reviews happening between them. So any differences will be understood there and it will be ironed out there. So at this stage, when you do that, typically what happens, a client is very well aware of what are the items which is there in their project.
Correct, sir.
Okay. So he is pretty clear. Okay. Sometimes clients are very much, small scale clients are very much confused. What is my interior? What is my architectural finishes? They don't know the difference. So once you put everything black and white in a BOQ and the client is aware of what is the items that is there in my BOQ, what is the cost of that, what is the material component, what is the installation component, it becomes pretty clear how much they wanted to spend.
Correct.
Then QS will also tell option A, this category of contractors, if you go, this is the cost.
Okay.
Option B, this category of contractors you go, this is the cost.
Correct.
This is the differential cost. Now it's the client's call at what quality, what cost they need to choose the contract.
Correct.
Okay. So it becomes pretty clear. Now assume whichever the case, option A or option B. When you go to a contractor, earlier what happens, you had a design. We are speaking about small scale projects here.
Correct, sir.
We had a design. We go to a contractor. We give them the design. We ask them to do a pricing. He has to take a lot of assumptions.
Correct.
That is also getting accumulated into the pricing what he is going to give. And as a client, I am not aware what is the item that I am going to build. As a contractor, he might probably know these items are required, but it's not factored, or I'm not telling it anywhere, so that I can ask for some extra payments at later point of time. Or he might be very aggressive to take the project, and he might want to put this under the pricing, very less pricing, and then he wanted to take the project, and later he may want to shoot it up, or there is no clarity on item. So he might put lot of assumptions and overprice the project. He might lose the deal also. So it could go anywhere else. But I am telling why I said it works like a magic is the moment you go to a contractor with a BOQ in place, even if it is a small construction, with the clarity of items in place, you are aware that what the contractor is pricing for. The contractor is also aware what he is pricing for. And then it becomes pretty clear for you to understand my, maybe 5 crore rupees which I am going to spend for my home is going to cost under these areas, this amount.
Correct.
Okay, this is the amount I'm spending for interior. This is the amount I'm spending for fall ceiling. This is the amount I'm spending for my tiles.
To know that.
Exactly. Now this clarity is there, so the level of assumptions taken here is minimized. There is a very less chance the contractors will come down and ask for extra price, additional cost and things like that.
They can't fool you. Fool a client.
Correct. So in that way, it becomes pretty clear.
I'm openly saying, sir, is it fine, right?
Yes.
Is it fine? Yeah.
See, in business, I won't say that it's fooling them. It's about like making it. Someone is greedy, I would say.
Correct, sir.
Or probably make you make
Yeah. If a contractor wants to prove client, I'm right, I want that project genuinely, how they can prove it? With the quantity surveyor only.
price rightly.
Yeah, correct, sir.
So in terms of contractors, basically the QS there in any of the contracting organizations will typically be aware of the pricing which is working out within their company.
Okay.
So they know what rate they are procuring, what is the margin they need to load for the particular project, overheads included in that, what type of structure, evaluating all that, they will do that. So if you ask me like what is the best way to win a project, price right.
Price right.
Okay. See, I'm very carefully using this word right.
Yeah.
I won't say price low, price right. Whatever the items are there in the project, price for it.
What is the right price for a project? Like if you say
It depends on the project.
Correct.
It depends on the project. It depends on the items involved in the project. It depends on the actual scope of the project.
what is the margin they can expect for profit margin?
Profit percentage or the margin for a contractor, it depends on the you're asking some sort of complex questions. I'm just trying to think how to answer it effectively.
Yes, sir.
Because I shouldn't reveal some of the secrets
We are also holding my nose. Actually, we know what we want to know that.
So it's like basically, I would say, I'll ask you a question.
Okay. I need straight ones, sir.
Yeah. See, you will understand this.
Yeah.
You assume you are a cyclist.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
Cyclist.
Cyclist.
Okay, you assume you are a cyclist.
Okay.
And I wanted a cyclist. Now I am a client. I have a requirement.
Correct.
I wanted someone who can do cycling. Preferred if they are a pro, which is like a cyclist.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have a scope to run that cycle for a particular time in a particular speed. Okay. This is my project requirement. This is my project requirement.
Okay.
Now, option A, you are a dedicated cyclist who can run this my requirements of that particular duration on the particular speed. Okay. Option B, you know how to cycle. You know how to cycle. You have been cycling. You also ride bike. You also ride cars. You also go by walk sometimes.
Yeah.
That is not the case in the option A. Option B, you are like that.
Correct.
Now you know how to run a cycle, but you are not sure with that particular duration, that particular speed is there or not. But you say, okay, chalo, that I can manage. You'll go there and see. Now you tell me in option A or option B, where you will give better pricing in terms of your point of view. Where do you use your expertise? There you will have a better margin. Because your assumptions are very less. You know how to exactly do that.
Correct.
And you know, you're sure about the timeline. So your margins will be slightly on a higher side.
Correct.
So you tell me my requirement, you understood. I am looking for a cyclist with the specification I gave you.
Correct, sir.
Option A, you are a cyclist. Option A, you also ride cycle along with bike and car.
Okay.
Now where you will keep higher margin?
It is so complicated, sir. My mind not working right now.
If I am there in your place, I'll keep it in option A.
Option A.
Because I know.
For me also, option A is the best thing.
Yes,
to do.
because you know what is
also
the
looking for
requirement.
that. Yeah.
You know your expertise is going to be
Correct,
there.
correct.
And you know you are the master in that job.
Correct.
The option B is
You're
not at all
reaching
near
on
to
time.
you.
Yeah.
Correct. So the same methodology is what contractors will also use while arriving their profit margin.
Okay.
Says there is some example. There is some specialized work requirement.
Okay.
Like you wanted to do, I would say, Burj Khalifa in India.
Okay.
Who can do Burj Khalifa in India?
Shapuji Palanji.
Maybe one or two names. If you want.
Yeah, one or two names only.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
correct. Probably
hardly in
three.
India, one or two names will be
Correct,
there.
sir, correct.
So obviously, their profit margin or their because their overheads are also high.
Correct, sir, correct.
They require a huge team, huge plant and machinery because it's a Burj Khalifa. It's not a typical 2 BHK home.
Correct.
It's a Burj Khalifa. Who is having capacity to do that? They make more money also because the risk is also high there. See, it's not like
Competition also
exactly
less.
It's
Yeah.
because like it's
okay. Okay.
it's like
I'm understanding
only
now.
2-3 people are there who are capable enough to do that job.
Okay, correct.
And the associated risk is also there.
Correct.
They have a track record of successfully doing it, but they need to factor the risk factor also to it. So obviously it is a very niche,
Correct.
narrow market.
All the factors will be affected.
Will be affecting it. So there is no one single line answer like how contractors are going to load profit.
Okay.
So I have just given a small flavor of it. There are multiple other factors to it. Depending on that, the profit margin will vary. Now, another simple case. You are a contractor. I am a client.
Correct.
I have invited 5 people for a bidding. You are also part of the project. You have a team who is ideal. You are not greedy. You just wanted to give projects for your team.
Correct.
So that their salaries are paid. And you wanted, okay, it's a regular
It's like
client who
genuine
always gives me a project.
Yeah.
I've done 2-3 projects with them. In this case, you will expect high profit.
No. Very.
Why? Because your expectation are different here.
Yeah.
Correct.
To pull the project.
You might have
only.
taken a profitable project from me, maybe my 3rd or 4th project. On my 5th project, you may not expect the same project.
Correct, sir.
So same profit. So it
Correct.
depends on multiple mechanism. There is no one straight answer. How much will be the profit percentage? How contractors will decide a profit percentage and all.
Okay.
So it's a little dynamic. I would say it even for a same contractor, it varies from project to project, client to client. Even for a same contractor, same client, it varies from project to project.
Now I am
So there are
getting
multiple factors to it.
Okay. But what is the minimum percentage? Like boundary will be there now, sir.
You're planning to open a company?
No, sir. I want to know the details.
See, I would say at least 5-10%.
5 to 10%.
5 to 10% will be the bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, of course. Like without that, what is the point of
correct.
why would contractor think like I need to do a job?
Correct, sir.
Correct.
Done.
It depends on the quantum, scope, and multiple other factors. But minimum though, it will be like 5-10% will be there at least.
Oh, done, sir. I got my answer actually. Job or business? One answer will be there. So I want sharp answer.
You want love marriage or arranged marriage?
I want both, sir. I'm doing it.
You want a marriage.
I want marriage first, yeah. I want marriage, sir, first, yeah.
So it doesn't matter whether it is love marriage or arranged marriage.
Correct, sir.
So if you ask me job or business, I know people who are very successful in business who couldn't even think of doing a bare minimum performance at job. And I know people who are exceptional in job, but they cannot, do a simple business by themselves. Because I would say it's both are two different ball games.
Okay.
To me, it is like at a particular time, the requirement or your appetite has to be there towards that. Some people would start with a job, land in a business. Some people are vice versa, would start with a business and land in a job.
Correct, sir.
Why do you think such things change in between?
That's what.
Because like multiple factors are there. Are they able to do successfully? Is this stress okay for them? Business is also stressful. Job is also stressful.
Correct.
Which is suitable for them? Which is bearable for them? Which is manageable for them?
Correct.
So all these things, plays a major role. I would say like nothing is lesser than each other.
Correct, sir.
If you are a business owner, you are probably employing a few job candidates under your job payroll.
Families also,
Okay.
yeah.
Of course.
Gonna
So
accommodate.
no business can run without employees. No employees can survive without business leaders. So it's like bound to each other. If you ask me which should someone choose, I would say like try both, or at least for a period of time stay at one place and explore the other. See, staying in job and exploring business is the easiest option.
Easiest option.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. For many of the people,
Correct.
staying in job and trying to see whether business will work out for them is a safest bet, I would say.
Safest.
Being in business, thinking about job is not as safe as it, because you have to invest for businesses to
Correct,
start and
sir.
all.
Yes.
And when you go into job market, you have to face a little bit of questions like what was the reason that you, because there will also be a little hesitation. What if you come here for 6 months, you change mind and go back once again?
Correct.
That is all fine.
Yeah.
But for the one who is hiring you, their continuity is also important, right?
Correct, sir.
So it's like, multiple factors are there. My only suggestion is like whichever is suitable to your own trait, whichever you are happy doing it, whichever
Correct.
you are peaceful doing it, there should be a satisfaction with that. Doesn't matter whether I'm doing business. Even I'm struggling in my business, if I'm satisfied,
Okay.
I'll be happy to do that.
Correct, sir.
Even if I'm stressful in my job, but I'm not satisfied, no point in do that, or vice versa. Okay.
Correct.
So it's like it should better align with their personal character thing, and it should basically satisfy them.
Great.
It shouldn't burden them.
So how it's gonna be like for mechanical and electrical people, sir?
It's a beautiful question. I always try to these days, very mindfully I'm using this word as construction, because like sometimes I'm from civil background, so I typically say civil engineers. Now I'm mindfully changing the word construction, because the QS industry is not, it's not a place only for civil engineers.
Correct, sir.
It is a place where a lot of mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, to a certain extent instrumentation engineers can also play a big role in
Big role, sir.
the
Yeah.
QS
Very
domain.
huge.
Yeah. Of course, the construction will not happen with just civil engineers, right?
Correct, sir.
You need the equipments, you need lights, you need capital equipments to
Correct,
function,
correct.
cool, heat your building, and plumbing, sanitary, firefighting,
MEP
technology,
is
integration.
as important as structure, sir. Yeah. Both
See,
are equal.
I would say like both are equally important.
Yeah.
See, building a building, but not making it to function or operate
Yeah.
is a
What
sin.
is the use? Yeah.
is a sin.
Correct, sir.
But I feel like that area of QS has always been little underspoken or very less spoken. Now I wanted to touch that because I am openly welcoming mechanical, electrical engineers to step into the construction industry.
Correct, sir.
At least though, I would happily tell, compared to maybe if you are thinking like I don't want to be at site or things like that, there are multiple options available.
Yeah.
Multiple options available. I would probably say come as a MEP cost manager.
Correct.
Be it from mechanical background or electrical background.
Yeah.
There is a lot of job available for you.
My next question is that only, sir. MEP quantity surveyor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like the way a civil quantity surveyor is measuring, pricing, budgeting, controlling the cost of civil items.
Correct.
There is also a huge demand for mechanical and electrical engineers to come do the same set of processes for mechanical and electrical items as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a building, we have a lot of electrical requirements, right from cabling, right from paneling to cabling to switches to the light which is functioning there.
Correct, sir.
And the multiple things associated with that. Correct. Same thing for a mechanical, engineers as well. Right from the equipment we put,
Plumbing
how the
also,
cooling is happening,
Correct, sir.
how we are going to run the ducting,
Correct, sir.
where which pump is getting placed, what
Yes,
is the
sir.
specification of the pump.
Yeah.
Lot
How
of
many
things.
we need to put?
Exactly.
The quantity.
I would say, from my understanding, even though I'm not a pro in mechanical or MEP related stuffs, with a basic level of understanding, with whatever the projects I have seen, I'm able to grab to an extent. But, if a dedicated MEP engineer is there, that gives a different level of confidence.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
Correct.
Because I'm from the civil background.
Yes, sir.
The technology upgradation which happens on MEP side is quite challenging. See, material wise, it's different. Civil is different.
Yes, sir.
Technology wise, integration wise, capacity wise, there are so many things to break our head in an MEP part.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, sir.
Which only MEP people can do. Only mechanical engineers, electrical engineers can do, because it's their core area of function.
Core area, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So those areas still has a huge amount of opening. I would say space for more people to come and do a job here.
Correct, sir.
But again, the comment I get from many people is like construction, though it's like the growth and
Correct.
It's not like that. It's not like that. But the only problem which people face, irrespective of whether they're MEP or civil, is to prove that they are capable, or probably the time. It's a factor of so many things: where they work, with whom they work, which organization they work, what type of projects they are working. All this, influences a lot in terms of bringing their exposure to a surface.
Correct, sir.
So that is the biggest problem. And second is about multiple other things we discussed about last time also, the salary
Yes, sir.
we
Yes,
discussed
sir.
and
Yeah.
things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
In the previous podcast, we explained it out in a
Correct,
detailed
sir.
way.
Correct.
Of course, like here, the beginning is slightly tough because construction is something till date. You cannot go to ChatGPT and tell like, okay, complete this 3000 SFT 2 BHK home. No.
Correct, sir.
You need people.
Yeah, you need people.
You need people. One of my friend used to tell this phrase. I just borrow it from him. Construction is one of the manufacturing sector, like other sector, but it's totally different. Because
different.
in other manufacturing sector, people come, product goes out.
Correct.
But in construction, people come, people goes out.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. So here the challenges are totally different. So that's why I'm saying don't get disappointed in the beginning. I'm not getting what I'm expecting. Not like that.
Correct.
You'll always be there. You'll always be reaching the place. I'm 100% confident. If you're passionate about construction, you'll always be reaching the space.
Correct, sir.
Place which you're aiming to reach. Even in terms of salaries also, I'm saying. So that should be there. But I'm just inviting warmly the mechanical, electrical engineers who are who are continuing their graduation. We are happy to welcome you into the construction industry.
Yeah.
At least, though, I am happy to welcome you all into the QS fraternity.
Nice.
That there at least like I know what is the demand which is there.
Do you guys have any openings, sir?
I'll not reveal it here.
See, guys, yeah, sure, sir. Whenever the openings are there, please tell us.
See, I told in the beginning itself, there is still a crisis for talent.
Crisis are there, yeah. They don't have any work, sir. Starting of the project.
Correct.
At the end, they will run. They will run faster than civil engineers.
Correct. Because you need a structure to be built to place your equipments, right?
Correct.
So we will build the structure, then let them come and do the installation
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
So I'm just happily inviting the MEP fraternity into the QS community.
Correct.
As well as into the construction community.
Correct.
Of course, so many people are there. They're doing pretty excellent, impressive job. But still, I think like we need a lot of people over there.
Correct, sir. A lot of crisis is there, sir. In MEP.
Yes.
How the civil engineering team is there, MEP team also will be there, sir. Like
Yes.
in-house projects, they hire more people, sir.
Yes.
For client people, they hire less, but in-house construction companies, they hire more MEP people.
Exactly. So that's what I told
They
you.
need
Right?
more
Their expertise is, is something which is irreplaceable.
Correct, sir.
MEP engineers' expertise is something which is expertise with experience is something which is
It's a rare thing, guys.
irreplaceable.
A civil engineer is pricing mechanical engineer is rare thing.
So typically, people don't do that in college.
Yeah, I meant to say that, sir. Actually, in my college also, about to fight with each other. Like,
So that's why I told you, right? We are not like college those days are so different. But like the reality is like it's nothing like civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers. It's not like you are from civil, mechanical, electrical department.
Until unless
nothing
after
like that.
BTech only they
We
will
are all.
realize.
Once you are a construction professional, you are a construction professional.
Correct.
You are into the construction fraternity.
Correct.
So there's no differences.
Correct.
And as I said, it's a people-dominant industry.
Correct, sir.
So it doesn't matter the background. If you're contributing, see with what expertise, I can't say expertise. With what education qualification laborers are stepping into, can we run the show without laborers? We cannot.
No,
right?
no, we can't.
So once a construction professional, once you are into the construction fraternity, you are an integral part of the construction
Correct, sir.
fraternity.
You will bind with it also.
You have to.
Nice, sir. Great conversation, sir. I enjoyed a lot.
Thank you. Same
People
here.
will enjoy a lot.
Same here.
I'm looking forward to discuss more. So, guys, if you have any topic to discuss with Anbu sir, please feel free to comment below. If you want to, please let us know.
Thank you. Thanks, Rajesh. It was, as usual, it was wonderful discussing with you. So the reason we started to do, I think I remember the earlier conversation we started to
yes,
have.
sir.
We thought like we need to bring a little bit of visibility for the fraternity.
Correct, sir.
As I said, construction fraternity. QS cost management is something which is my bread and butter, and I'm always happy to speak about it. With my limited little knowledge, whatever the knowledge, I would request the audience to leave up a comment. Accordingly, we can
Please.
also touch that.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
About the requirement which our fraternity is asking for.
Yeah. I'm also expecting more comments to do next podcast. Please comment.
Thank you, and nice discussing with you. Thank
Sure,
you.
sir. Nice talking to you again, sir.
Thank you.
It's wonderful time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the support. So, I hope you enjoyed the show and comment your takeaways from this video. Thanks for watching. See you on next video.